Hey, Luke. What's up?
Oh, just mentally preparing myself to go through Dad's house.
Yeah, well, do you mind being on your own for that tonight?
What? Do you have something better to do than comb through our father's house full of old crap?
I miss the old man more than anything, but he was definitely a bit of a hoarder.
A bit?
So, what are we going to do with all of that stuff? I mean, do we really have to go through all of that stuff?
What do you mean?
I mean, can't we just pay someone else to do it for us?
Do you really want a stranger to be going through all of Dad's stuff? I mean, there's no telling what they may find. Ugh.
Are you doing okay, brother? Is this all too much for you? I mean, I know that you were already having a hard time before Dad died. How are classes going? Any interesting students? What are you teaching?
Okay, enough with the questions, Vicky, alright? Maybe I don't want to talk about any of this right now.
Okay, Luke, I'm sorry. It's just that I know that ever since Maxine left...
Okay, I'll just talk to you later, Vicky.
Wait, I'm sorry, Luke. I shouldn't have brought that up.
I have work to do, okay?
Hey, Luke, listen, I really want to apologize for how I acted earlier. I really was a jerk.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Me too, Vicky.
You too? So, you're apologizing too? Are you feeling okay, Luke?
Actually, no, I'm not. Not at all.
Oh no, is it, your ex? Do you want to talk about it?
No, it's about what I found while looking through some of Dad's things today, down in the basement.
Okay, what was it?
You aren't going to believe me.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to think you're lying to me?
Well, it's a pretty unbelievable thing.
Tell me, Luke.
I was finally looking through those boxes back in the old fruit cellar.
Ugh, it's so creepy back there.
Yeah, well, you'll find out why.
Okay.
So way back in the corner was this big chest, almost like an army locker, and inside were these wooden boxes, and,
Yeah, what was in them?
well, had you ever heard about Dad being a collector of, World War II paraphernalia?
What? What do you mean?
Specifically of the German persuasion.
Wait, are you saying that Dad had...
German helmets, daggers, silverware, other items from an unspeakably evil time in human history.
Oh my god, but Luke, that can't be... Are they real? They can't be real.
Is it any better if they're fake, Vicky?
Oh my god.
Our father had this crap in his house, right in his basement, for how many years now? And nobody knew anything about it?
But why didn't he tell us about it before he died? Why didn't he warn us?
I don't know.
So what did you do with it all?
I just put it all back and then went and washed my hands.
Well, what should we do with it? Destroy it? Give it to a museum? What?
I honestly have no idea what the right thing is to do at this minute. This just happened, so I'm still kind of in shock.
I understand. I am sorry that you were there alone today, Luke.
Don't start up with that stuff now, okay, Vicky?
Well, okay. Fine.
Let me just get out of this house and get some air for a while. Think this over.
This is just insane, Luke.
You're telling me.
So, do you think that Dad was, involved in any of that stuff? I mean, how could he be, right?
Right.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, Vicky. How you doing?
Well, I guess I'm less shocked as I was yesterday, and now I'm just angry.
And what is it you're angry about? I mean, I assume it has something to do with what happened, what I found.
I'm angry that Dad would have any interest in this sort of thing at all. I've been trying to rack my brain with a reason as to why he could possibly have all of that, and I've come up with nothing.
Well, the sad part is that we may never know.
Yeah, maybe not. But I honestly don't even care. I just want it all gone.
Gone? Gone like how? What do you think we should do with it?
Well, I think we should have a nice big barbecue in your backyard. How about that? I'll bring the Polish sausage.
I'm not so sure we should do that, Vicky.
Oh, please, what do you want to do? Display it in your house or something? Yeah, that would go over real well with your college.
No, I'm obviously not going to display any of it.
Good, because I think people have seen enough of that crap over the years.
But I do think that it should be preserved.
Well, go find a museum then, but I don't want to ever see it, that's for sure. And you better not have taken any pictures either.
No, I didn't. But don't you think they should be displayed, Vicky, in a proper setting? Don't you think we bear some responsibility to history?
It's a noble gesture, Luke, but no, history is indifferent to your gestures towards it. You will not be spared.
I see I'm speaking to the sunny side up Vicky today.
Yes, sunny side up yours, Luke. I don't want that crap in my life in any way, so get rid of it.
What about Aunt Adelaide?
Did you just dare speak its name, Luke?
I mean, I'm just saying, Aunt Adelaide may be able to shed a little more light on this. About what Dad was or wasn't up to.
Yeah, but having been forbidden from speaking to her for the last 32 years, how's that going to happen?
It's about time we figure out why. Hi, is this Adelaide Montgomery?
Yes, and who is this? Whoever it is, there is a 99% chance that I'm not interested.
Well, this might be that 1%. This is your nephew, Luke.
Luke? Oh my God.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
In fact, I think it's been about 32 years by my sister's calculation.
32 and 8 months, actually. The last time I saw you, it was your 5th birthday party.
Oh, well, then that was a long time ago.
So, I was very sorry to hear about your father.
Oh, well, thank you, I guess. I'm sorry, too.
And why should you be so sorry?
Well, because he was your brother, after all.
Yes, but as you are no doubt aware, we had a bit of a troubled relationship.
I guess that I could have surmised that from the fact that my sister and I weren't allowed to speak to you for most of my life.
Yes, well, that was your father's doing, not mine. I hope you know that.
I never really knew for sure if it was him or you or a mutual thing.
Well, it was originally him, and then it was me, and then it was mutual. Then I wanted to reconcile, but he didn't. Then he died.
You mean you wanted to reconcile with him after he got sick?
I wanted to reconcile with him before that, but you know how these things go.
So you tried to reach out to him and...
Yes, and he refused to see me. And not long after that, I heard that he went downhill. It tore me up, but that was my brother's decision.
Wow, so how did this whole beef start anyway?
It was all over your grandfather, actually. Something as silly as the estate when he died. Can you believe that?
Oh, really? Did Grandpa even have much of anything?
Well, not really, no. I suppose it was more of a principle thing, or perhaps just nostalgia. Your father refused to sell our childhood home until it was absolutely necessary to do so. Something about cherishing the memories or something.
Really? I didn't know that Dad was ever so nostalgic. He treated his own house like crap.
Well, our father did a lot of work on the inside of our house. I guess he wanted to preserve that. I could never convince him that Dad would want another family to enjoy it now.
But the house was eventually sold, right?
Yes, eventually, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get there. Your dad had a very complicated relationship with his father. They were love-hate. But something they both were for sure, pack rats.
Yeah. Well, that actually brings me to a question. I mean, not that I'm only contacting you because I want something.
Well, I hope not, because I was honestly hoping that we could reconnect as well. I was just afraid to take the first step.
I'm really happy to hear that, Aunt Adelaide.
Aunt Adelaide? Wow, I like the sound of that, I must say.
Well, I really want to reconnect to you, too.
Oh, that is so great. And what about your sister? What about Vicky?
Well, I think that Vicky will come around soon enough. She's just still grieving Dad, you know?
Of course. I'm not sure that ever really ends, but I would love to meet up with you sometime. And her too, if she ever wants to, I mean.
Yes, I would love that, Aunt Adelaide.
So what was your question?
Well, the thing is, I was going through some of Dad's old things.
Of course. How could you not be?
Right. He did sort of leave us a lot of it, didn't he?
Well, our father did the same, so I guess it runs in the family.
Anyway, in the basement, way in the corner of the fruit cellar, I found this old army footlocker with some, very disturbing items in them. Historical items.
Oh, yes. I believe I know exactly what you're referring to, Luke.
You do?
Yes, you're referring to your grandfather's souvenirs that he brought back from World War II.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Well, believe it or not, at the end of the war, many American soldiers took home souvenirs. It's actually incredibly common. Some of this stuff ends up being put into museums, some are auctioned off to private sellers, others on the black market.
Oh, I see.
And then a lot of it, of course, is either just lost to time or sits in someone's basement.
So, you mean that all of this is just, like, family heirlooms?
Well, I wouldn't venture to put it that way, but it's just something that was your grandfather's, then it was your father's, and now it's yours, I suppose.
But I don't understand. What am I going to do with an SS spoon?
I don't know, Luke. That's for you to contemplate. No one ever wanted me to have it.
Well, who wanted me to have it? Dad never gave it to me. He never even told me he had this crap.
Exactly. And he never threw any of it away either, did he? Perhaps he wanted to teach you a lesson, even subconsciously, about the dangers inherent in burying history.
So, do you have any suggestions, though?
You could keep it all and ponder its meaning from time to time, or you could get rid of it.
But how?
I would suggest calling up some museums and asking for starters.
Okay, well, I don't know where to start with any of this.
Maybe Vicky could help you.
No, I don't think so. Vicky doesn't want anything to do with this anymore.
Well, I can't say that I blame her. Does she believe these items contain some type of evil energy or something?
I don't know, but I'm sure she does. She's into that sort of stuff.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
Well, it's not much of a secret anymore, but your grandmother believed the same thing. And in fact, wouldn't even let Dad keep that stuff in the house.
So where did he keep it then?
In the house. He just hid it in a cubbyhole way back there.
Did she ever find out?
No, but if she did, everything bad that ever happened to her would have been blamed on that old crap.
Yeah, maybe.
The truth is, all of that stuff you found down there, in reality, it's just old stuff. It doesn't contain any hidden truth or meaning, it's just metal, leather, and cloth.
I don't know about that, Aunt Adelaide.
Oh?
No, I mean, I don't think they hold any sort of evil powers, but I think there's far more to it all than just stuff.
Well, objects contain the power that we give them, I suppose.
I'll have to think long and hard about all of this.
It's a lot to ponder. It was so good to hear from you, my nephew. It means more to me than you'll ever know.
I'll be in touch, Aunt Adelaide.
Goodbye for now, Luke.
Hey, sis, what's up?
Hey, Luke. So, did you talk to our long-lost aunt, or what?
Yeah, and actually it turns out she's a pretty cool lady.
Well, I guess that's not totally surprising. She is related to us, after all. Did you get an answer as to why Dad never let us speak to her?
Yeah, but it all seemed kind of opaque, even to her. It was something about Grandpa's estate.
And what about the, historical items? Did you ask her about those? Did she know about them?
Yeah, and I didn't even have to say anything about it either. She just guessed.
So she knew all about it, huh? And what did she say about our dad having, sympathies?
They aren't his, Vicky. Well, they are. But they were Grandpa's, and they obviously weren't his originally either. They came from the war.
You mean Grandpa brought all of that stuff back from Germany? Like, I don't know, contraband?
Souvenirs, Vicky. Souvenirs. And it was a very common thing, I guess.
Wow, what a weird thing. I mean, that's kind of demented, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to judge a person in that situation. He never tried to sell them or anything.
So then what are we supposed to do with them? Were they supposed to become ours or something?
Well, Aunt Adelaide said that Grandpa passed them down to Dad specifically, so I guess that kind of crap is a guy thing.
Good, because I don't want it. Do you?
I don't know, I guess. Until I do, it should just stay with me.
Be careful, Luke. That could have been exactly what our dad was thinking.
Hello, is this Dr. Aaron at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum?
Yes, this is Dr. Aaron. Is this Luke?
Yes, sir. I wanted to thank you so much for talking with me today. I know that you're a very busy man.
Well, I can always make time for someone who has items that are of such historical importance to our museum.
Yes, well, I don't know exactly what else to do with this stuff. It caused a lot of confusion in the family.
Would you mind me asking how exactly you came across these items?
Well, you see, my father passed away recently.
Oh, well, my condolences to you.
Well, thank you. But anyway, I was going through all of his old things and found these items. After talking to my aunt, I discovered that these items were brought back by my grandfather after the war.
Oh, yes. This is how we've gotten many items here at the museum.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Many families have been in your position before, Luke. Being in possession of these items is nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's been burning a hole in my conscience for the past 6 months. I don't know, maybe it is all cursed.
The only curse is the ideology those items represent. The power they contain is the power you give them.
I suppose so.
Here in America, we are free to think and believe whatever we want. It's a beautiful thing. The moment I tell you you can't have these items is the moment we become just like the people who once held them in their hands.
I see, Doctor. You're a very wise man.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm only trying to keep the memory alive in this day and age of so much newfound denialism. We'll be in touch about your grandfather's items. Thank you, Luke.
And thank you, Dr. Aaron.
Wow, Luke, I can't believe that. I am just speechless.
I know, and after all this time, we've finally seen some of the items in person.
It was one of the most powerful experiences of my life.
Vicky, I know that when I first found all of that stuff, it was a very confusing time in our relationship, but...
Well, I get it, and I'm sorry too. It was a hard time. We were both grieving.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm sorry that I haven't been helping out more with Dad's house.
It's okay, you're so busy. We'll get it cleaned out eventually.
Yeah, well, who knows what else we're going to find. Maybe a brick from the Berlin Wall.
Well, that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? I might hold on to that.
You know, I read an interesting thing about authoritarian governments recently.
Yeah, what's that?
In the end, they always fall.
And can you believe that our grandfather played a part in fighting the worst of all time?
And in the scope of things, it really wasn't that long ago when you think about it.
Nope, not really at all.
So I guess we'll be finishing up the house pretty soon?
Yeah, just a little bit more to go. I feel bad that you never got to find anything cool. Not saying that what I found was cool.
Oh, don't worry, I found something cool.
Oh yeah? When?
Last night. You know what they were? Grandpa's medals.
Grandpa had medals? I didn't know that he got any medals. What are they?
I have no idea. I'm sure we can look them up. This is amazing, Luke. What if it turns out Grandpa was like a war hero?
I don't know, Vicky. I guess we'll see.
After their conversation, Luke came over and helped Vicky go through the medals and found, in total, a silver star, 2 bronze stars, and 2 purple hearts. Both Luke and Vicky soon reunited with Aunt Adelaide and heard stories from their father's childhood that they never thought they'd hear.